Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to this Zoom session. My name is Hewley Ho, a volunteer conducting IT classes in library at Harbourfront. At this moment, we have converted these classes using Zoom. Normally, about a few days or a week before the event, I will post the notes in my blog, and you can read it before you come to the lesson. For those who are interested to have a soft copy of future posts, you can submit your email address. At the bottom right-hand corner, there's a word follow. Click and submit your email address. So subsequent posts, you will have a soft copy. Since last year, circuit breaker, until now, I have conducted 14 topics. Today is the 15th topic. Each has 2 parts, 2 weeks apart. And in the blog, the library has extended the recorded copy for me to post in my YouTube channel. So when you read the blog post, you will get a link to also see the video again to reinforce whatever tips that you want to enforce yourself. Now, cashless payment, I try to do 5 topics today, and 2 weeks later, I will do another 5 topics. So history of transaction, current mood, what is the e-wallet, cashless payment, and what is the difference between Payla and Pay Now. Now, before we start, I would like to do a simple feedback from you all, some sort of questionnaire. Please answer them, and we'll just see what type of participant we have for today's session.
Okay, so I'll be starting a poll.
Yeah, so I will get out.
Yeah, so on your screen, you'll be able to see 2 questions.
Wait, how do I?
It's okay,
okay.
no need.
No need to get out. No, I got out already. Okay.
Okay, so I have launched the poll already. So on your screen, you should be able to see question 1. Are you already using your smartphone to make e-payments? So either yes or no, not yet. And then question 2 is only for those who have replied no, not yet. The reason why you haven't started to use e-payment. Okay, I'll give everyone some time to answer the question. Okay, Mr. Ho just like to know whether or not the participants today have already started using e-payment. So let's all give our feedback to Mr. Ho. Okay, I've seen some of you saying that cannot submit the poll.
I know the reason. It's because we did in the second question we didn't give them an option for those who answer yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the escape question, because your this poll need 2 questions in order to come up with the submit.
Okay, so can I just assume that everybody has a bank account? For those who click yes, is it okay if you choose no bank account so that you can submit your poll?
Yes, I think that's the way to escape it.
Yeah, because right now I see that no bank account has 0 count. So I just assume that everybody has a bank account.
Yes.
And then for those who choose yes, I'm already using e-payment. Then for the second one, you just tick no bank account.
I think we have
Then
to
you can
improve.
submit.
We have to improve on this.
Yeah, we'll add in the second option.
So for those who answer yes, give them an option to click that one. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay, I think
like now we are quite even. Yeah, not bad. I think good.
Okay.
So we end the poll.
Should we end the poll now?
Yeah, it's good.
Anyone else want to reply? Okay, let me end the poll in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I can share the results with everybody on screen. Okay, so yes, I'm already using e-payment. It's 58%, and no, not yet is 42%.
Yes, quite an even spread. Yeah.
All right, let me stop sharing.
Okay, I think I roughly get the gauge of the participant today. So for those who, for whatever reason, still have not started, it is something to come. It's something like our EZ link card. You know, when the government start using the plastic card instead of cash to pay for your bus fare. Initially, there's some resistance. Then after that, now you notice everybody just take it as nothing. They just do it. So, okay. So what are the advantages and risks involved? Whatever we do, even crossing the road, there's a certain amount of risk. So in practice, what we normally do is we try to understand the risk and try to minimize the risk. So in that sense, you have to be a smart user using a smart phone. So that is my message to you all. So how to learn to be smart is to mix with friends who knows IT or come to the classes or join some interest group to get yourself smarter in using it. One very common mistake that even I myself have made is that when you register the QR code, especially in the hawker center, you have to key in the price of the payment yourself. So you ask yourself, you buy a bowl of prawn noodle, $3, you key in $30 and you didn't check, sorry, the money just go over. But that is not the end of the story. You will get the money back. But what I mean is some inconvenience. So cashless payment, one of the important thing is check and double check before you confirm that that is the money you're going to give to the vendor. So here I say, in any business transaction, it can be a plastic card, you go to NTUC and pay your groceries, or any shop that you buy something using your phone to check the QR code. There are two things involved. One is the communication. One is the trust. Certain online transaction requires you to pay upfront. So that is the trust. So we will address these two and see how we can accept and live with it. Now, just to understand, you think for yourself, if I'm so kiasu, I want a totally risk-free communication, then I will say, don't use the internet. Don't have record. You know internet, no risk of virus and hacking, and no scam. But the main question is it effective and practical in our real world now? So what type of situation you're looking at? Like that. That is the most effective and very safe way of communication. There is no third person. Only two of you understand what you two have shared. Now come to transaction. Transaction means you pass some money to somebody. No internet, no trust issue, no record, no risk of virus hacking. The question is the same. Is it effective and practical? Can you think of a way that you can transact something, somebody do you a service, and you want to repay the person, or what? What is the method? This is the method. It's the safest way. We call that barter trade. But it is effective or not, you think about it in the current context. Advantages of cashless society. So it reduces the risk of counterfeit theft. All these are in the notes in the blog. So I may skip some of them, but you can read through it at a later stage. But the most important I want to highlight to you is the speed and proper record and proper way of collecting economic data so that every country can analyze their data and improve themselves. And this also can minimize wastage. And for the individual, is an easy way to budget your spending. Now, just talk a bit on history of transaction. About 6,000 before BC, how people share their skills. We call that barter trade. You can dig a trench for me and I can give you 2 chicken or something like that. So there are many combinations. So that is a very early form of transaction. Then somebody invented the money. Different color, different denomination, different way of describing the money, and just a piece of paper, and you recognize it and you honor it and you can use it to do whatever you want. And later on, people think of the plastic card that you can bring along overseas and you can spend it, and at the end of the month you pay it. We call that the Visa card. But now you have the PayWave and all this, also plastic card. But today our lesson is actually focused on smartphone, not on this method of transaction. We just started cashless payment in 2011, and they use the Internet of Information to communicate. Why I say Internet of Information? Because now we are going into Internet of Values, blockchain and 5G. To give you a simple explanation, in the current Internet of Information, if you send your friend an email, you are not actually giving your friend the original. The original is still in your computer. You are actually giving your friend a copy of the email. So that is called Internet of Information. The information is passed through, but that is not the original copy. Now come to Internet of Value that now we are establishing. If you want to send $1 to a vendor or to a friend, you cannot send a copy of the dollar to your friend and you still retain the dollar in your bank account. That makes no sense. So how do they overcome it? That is the new skills that we have to learn. Internet of Values, blockchain, and 5G. There are other lessons I will touch on later on all these special effects. Before we touch on the smartphone method of cashless payment, just to recap you some of the things you are familiar with. So you use the local store value, just a plastic card, with the store value inside the card. We have the EZ-Link card, we have the Kopitiam card, they give you 10% back because you upfront put some cash inside the plastic card. Food Junction also give you 10%, and Nets card. Then come the cashless payment using the smartphone. Kofu has a way of giving you 10% if you download their app. Pay also has a way to encourage you to use their system and they rebate you some discount. And Starbucks also have. By the way, if you are familiar with Starbucks, every year on your birthday, you can step into any Starbucks, they'll give you 1 cake free of charge. EZ-Link card. EZ-Link card nowadays, you can use it to buy things also, I was told, on certain selected vendors. Copy them card. But whatever card you have, please remember or record down the serial number. because you are the owner of that card. So if you lose the card, you don't lose all the money balance in the card. You can report back to the provider, and they will stop payment on that card, and they will transfer it to your new card. So normally the serial number has 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 sets of number. So Nets also have it. Food Junction also have it. You notice Food Junction card is actually a loyalty card, can only use in the food court named Food Junction. You can use it in any of the stores, but it's within that outlet. Okay, same thing as Kopitiam card. Now come to the smartphone method of using cashless payment. You have the Pay Now and Payla. You have the Grab Pay. Grab Pay can use for transportation, can also use for paying food delivery, can also use for even some of the retail shop, Isetan and all that, you can use it. Apple Pay also now can use in many outlets beside McDonald's, Samsung Pay and Google Pay. The question is, how do you create an e-wallet within that app that you have downloaded? That we will talk about it later. So you notice that you must have an e-wallet, either linking to a bank account or linking to a Visa account, or somebody transfer the money to you. So there are 3 ways of updating your e-wallet. Our government has standardized a code, they call it SGQR code, and this is promoting in all hawker center. What they did is they just have a piece of paper printed with a QR code, and on top of it, the name of the store, and sometimes below you have all the apps or icon that can accept payment through all these platforms. The icon below, you can call it as a platform or a company. So you see the difference between Singapore and China. China only has Alipay and WeChat Pay. Here we got so many types of pay. Everybody want a piece of the pie. A bit complicated, but it still works. Now come back to the Payla and Pay Now. There are, I think, about 9 banks agreed to cross-border or cross-platform to allow flexibility of people using either OCBC bank account or UOB or DBS account. But one thing confusing is they use different word for it. DBS use Payla. OCBC use Pay Anyone. Then UOB use, don't know, Mighty or something like that. GrabPay, this is only to show you how you can transfer some money to a hawker after you have ordered the product that you want. As I said earlier on, the most important thing is to check that you have keyed in the right amount. The decimal place is in the right place. All cashless payment is complete with 2 decimal points. That means if you type the word 1, you type 4 times, is $10. You type 3 times, is $1. So the 00 is always there if there's no cent. So it's good to check, double check before you confirm and send your payment to the vendor. This one is a simple way to give you some flow chart how the communication work. Just now you remember I told you there are 2 things. First is the communication. Second thing is the trust. I will talk more on the trust later, but this flow chart is talk about communication. What actually is happening? So On the left-hand side is the customer equipment, the smartphone. On the right-hand side is the vendor smartphone. And the customer e-wallet is not really a physical wallet, it's an app inside the smartphone. So what happened? Assuming you order a bowl of prawn noodle is $3, what you need to do is to touch on the app that you want to use, either Payla or UOP or Pay Now, whatever it is, touch on it, and automatically the camera will turn on, and you just shine the smartphone camera onto the QR code, and the QR code will be accepted on your smartphone. You read carefully the shop name, the store name, and the QR code name, it must be the same. Then you key in the amount. And once you key in the amount, the communication will go to the internet, and internet will go to your bank account. It may be different from the vendor bank account, and instruct the bank to pass $3 from the account that you have linked to the vendor's bank account. So your bank account will be less $3. The vendor bank account that he has set up will have $3 more. And all these transactions will be fed back to the respective smartphone, and you will have a record that $3 is deducted from your bank account. And the vendor will have a record that $3 will be credited to his bank account. So for your record, you even have the name of the vendor shop mentioned. I'm not sure what the vendor has on his site, because I don't think they capture your name, but I have no chance to check with a vendor. But on your site, you have record of the vendor name, that on that day, that time, on this store ABC, you give him $3. So that is how it works. This is a slightly complicated flow chart, but it means the same thing. And you notice the difference between the earlier flow chart and this flow chart. This flow chart, the vendor has a machine, and that machine can print you a receipt. That is an old method, old system method. Some of the retail shops still using this, especially Isetan and all that, they're still using it. So they can give you a receipt in addition to the soft copy you have on your smartphone. So this is another method. Other than that, everything the same. The flow of the communication going to the vendor's bank account and the customer bank account is still the same. So the advice is still the same. Key in the amount that you need to pay. And normally in retail shop, you may have some cents that you have to pay, 35 cents or how many cents. Check carefully before you approve and send the instruction to your bank to pay. There is another thing happening now on cashless payment. We call that digital currency. What happened is, in China, they selected a group of people, I think in two cities or two states. And I don't know whether they give them free or what, a certain amount of money in their smartphone, and ask them to just use it. So the China authority is checking on whether the system is working properly or whether there's some loopholes. So what I'm talking now is the future of transaction. Once they resolve the issue of security and all that, this will be the method of, there will be no more paper or no more plastic card. Everything will be used through your smartphone. Now, coming to talk about transaction and security, you remember just now I told you, even crossing a road has the element of risk. So in doing internet transaction, there's also an element of risk. But if you understand what risk you are taking, then you will have confidence in using it. So in internet transaction, there are only three factors you have to remember. First of all, you need a middleman. to transfer your information from A to B and give instruction to the bank to take some money from your bank account to give it to another. So you need a middleman. But when you come to the next one I talk about on the other slide, the Internet of Value, the middleman is removed. So that is a different way of transaction. And the next thing is you need the owner to confirm. That means he must have the right key. The right key can represent your screen code, can represent your thumbprint, can represent your facial recognition. So that means the one who is holding the phone, the system must confirm that that is the right person, that is the right owner. It's something like you go inside your house, you must have the right key. If not, you cannot go inside your house. So the second check is some form of confirmation, either through a screen code or thumbprint or facial recognition. I think voice also may be accepted. I'm not sure. I don't have a smartphone that's so smart they can accept voice, but I think voice also maybe can be accepted. So to confirm you are the owner of the smartphone. And the next control is the e-wallet. You can configure the e-wallet and tell the e-wallet, don't spend more than $50 a day. The e-wallet will not spend. Assuming you want to buy something, assuming the first purchase you buy is $20 and the second purchase you want to buy is $31, your transaction will not go through because the e-wallet will block it because you have set not more than $50 to spend a day. So even you lose your phone, even somebody so smart can even imitate you as the owner. So smart can go away with that. The most they can spend on your phone is $30. Assuming you spend 20, is $30. They won't take away your $1,000 or $2,000 or $100,000 in your bank account. Everything controlled by the e-wallet. Okay, so this is the three control. So in words, this is the thing in words. Okay, all these are in the notes. You can slowly read it out. So first of all, you must have money to buy your thing now. Okay, asset, you must have money in the bank account. Secondly, you must have a way of communication. So for smartphone, I always recommend data plan. Don't use the free Wi-Fi in the shopping center. Not so reliable and sometimes not so strong also the signal. And third thing, whoever who hold the smartphone, the system need to confirm you are the real owner. You are not the one who just pick up the smartphone on the road. So there are three ways. So if this three way is somebody so smart can go through, then the e-wallet is the last backup. Because the e-wallet, you already command it. If you are very careful, you can say, don't spend more than $10 a day. You can. If you are just a beginner, want to try, you can condition it to $10. Then once you're more confident, for me, I condition it to about $200 because I need to buy things more than $100. So, but you have to be careful what you have done in your e-wallet. This is just to show you some of the equipment that you can see either in Kopitiam or on the bus. Even on the bus, you can see it. This is called near field communication. That means your smartphone can only talk to the bank using the app when the phone is very near to the equipment, to this equipment. If you are 1 meter away, they cannot communicate. That is one security they have. It must be very near. Now, what is the difference between Payla and Pay Now? Payla is dedicated to POSB and DBS bank account holder. If you have an account with DBS and POSB, your cashless payment app is called Payla. For those who are non-DBS or POSB account holder, your cashless payment is called Pay Now. So when you activate to pay somebody, you can activate Payla to Pay Now or Pay Now to Pay Now. Depends on which bank you're talking about. And normally Pay Now is normally directly deducted from the bank account, normally. But you can also put it through an e-wallet and pay through the e-wallet. That is for non DBS and POSB account holder. There's another method of cashless payment that is not related to hawker center, related to, say, for example, in the olden days, you will write check when we go to a shop and have some, say, you want to employ a maid or what, you have to pay upfront a certain thousands of dollars. In the olden days, we write check, right? But now you don't need to write check. We can use a smartphone to pay. So it's something like a form of Pay Now, but for company, we always use the company registered cashier payment code. It's safer that way. So the money don't go to the owners, the shop owners' personal account, because you go through that. Then for yearly tax, it can be easily accountable how much business the shop make. So that is another lesson for the people who instead of writing a check, can use the smartphone to pay wireless directly to the company bank account using the company the registered code to do it, not his personal Pay Now account code. So these are the banks that agree to cross-platform with each other. That means you can have any bank account with any of these banks. Say, for example, 10 of you go for a dinner and then you want to split the bill. And each one of you can have different bank account. You still can pay to each other. But it's only whether you use Pay Now or Payla. But it can be done. So, Siwei,